All right, good afternoon, everybody. 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins here on our Friday afternoon. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you're having a great day out there. We've got a good-looking weekend coming up here locally. We've got drier air, cooler air today. Feels much better. I think that's a little bit warmer each day this weekend, a little bit more humidity, but rain chances stay low. A few showers around by Sunday afternoon, but not a big deal. I want to talk tropics here for today. So let's get right to it. Off the top, we have Tropical Depression Lisa down in the southern Gulf of Mexico, the Bay of Campeche. Not a big deal. Not really going to talk about that. The one you see by Bermuda, that's a 10% chance. It's a non-tropical system, really. I don't expect anything really out of that. Nothing for us to be worried about, at least, so I won't talk about that. The orange, right there in the middle, is what I want to talk about today. That has a 40% chance of developing as we get going into the next 3 to 5 days, really, is what we're looking at. So let's start there. And I think what I really want to do is actually just get us started with the models because there's a lot that we'll be talking about there. If you could see that. All right, let's come over here. And I want to start with the European model. So the area that we're watching is over here. All right, it's over here near Puerto Rico. There's Puerto Rico at the very bottom right there, right? Watch this area right in here, okay? So what I'm going to do is bring it back to the beginning. See the moisture starting to kind of grab a little bit in that area, kind of fill in. Notice this is Saturday afternoon and evening. So you see some moisture here, plenty of rain for Puerto Rico, unfortunately. They're definitely going to get some of that. Some for the Turks and Caicos as well. But watch as we get into Sunday afternoon, and look at that. We start to close off a low pressure here, north of Hispaniola. And the Turks and Caicos are right in there. Now, this initially is a non-tropical low pressure system. Think of it kind of like, I don't even want to say a nor'easter, but it's non-tropical, right? So at least initially, the water's warm enough. We've got a big upper level low over top of this thing. So we're not talking about tropical development, at least not yet. So then let's go out to Monday morning. This thing is really slow here for me today. Hold on, guys. So this is Wednesday morning, and look what's happening. Look at the size of this low pressure. Look at this. That's what we call a broad area of low pressure, right? That's kind of backing off towards the west right there. So let's go a little bit more. We'll go out to, there you go. You see this by Wednesday night, it closes off the low. It's got a little tighter low here over South Florida. Look where all of the weather is. So it's this big plume of tropical moisture coming off in this direction, right? So it'll bring some rain for us. This, however this happens, this is going to be an East Coast thing. Florida, East Coast, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. With these isobars right in here, pretty tight like that, you're going to get some pretty good wind out of the east-southeast. And there's going to be some rain coming wherever it is. This is an erosion situation, some higher winds, higher normal tides, that type of stuff. It could cause a little bit of a problem, especially over towards St. Augustine, towards Jacksonville. Even Daytona Beach will have some issues, and certainly when you get up into South Carolina and Georgia, if this model holds. So this is Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Now it actually brings the low all the way back out over here. See it? It kind of drops it off and reforms another one over here. But still, the worst weather is up in this area right here. Okay? Certainly nothing for us. And I'll go over the wind aspect of this coming up. But then it kind of meanders this low off our coast here. You see it's not deepening it. It's just kind of keeping it at 1,008 millibars. Then it weakens it, and then here comes a good-looking cold front by the time we get towards Saturday night. That's somewhere in this area right here. Right? And that's my best mouse-drawn cold front. So that'll kick it up. So here's what I want you to take away from this. First of all, we're going to have something developing out here. It's going to start as non-tropical. It's not a big system, but it's big in size, but it's not strong, at least initially. We're going to have it around in some shape or form Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. All right. And then Saturday, this front comes through and it kicks us out. That means it's going to be warm. It's going to be muggy as well. Okay. That is the European model. Now let's take a look at the winds. Okay. So you kind of get an idea, sorry about that, of what to expect for the wind. So notice the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Look it over here, okay? See the wind's picking up a little bit. That green, highest wind that you're seeing on the map right there is about 29 miles per hour, right? Starting to see some 30s in there. Now, this is Saturday morning. So it's breezy all weekend, kind of over on the East Coast, but certainly Sunday, I think, will be a breezier day. This is Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. The low, meanwhile, is still east of Turks and Caicos. So there's a big area of low pressure. This is Sunday afternoon right there. So nice weekend for us, nice east to northeast winds, not a big deal. Now let's go further and let's go out to, man, why is this doing this to me now? Great. Monday afternoon. Now look what's happening. It's tough to see here, I know, but down here in the lower right-hand corner, we've got the low. This is the European model, so it's the lows here. This is all an east to northeast wind coming in. That's going to be affecting these areas here. All right. It'll be a nice breeze for us, but it's blowing offshore, right? The water's going to blow out. It's not a big deal. We're only talking, what do we got here in the green? 15, 25, 35 mile per hour winds out here, right? 35, 36 mile per hour winds. For here, we're talking 15 to 20 mile per hour winds, if that. All right, and blowing offshore. So again, this is not our storm on the West Coast. It's the East Coast of Florida. But what I want to start showing you here is what could happen by Tuesday. See the wind starting to pick up. Some of these in here in these oranges are 40 miles per hour. So this is a lot of wind out of the east-northeast for the northeastern part of Florida. So think nor'easter. The center is down here. The highest winds are way up here. A tropical system will have the highest winds right around the center, right? Now, this may start non-tropical like this, but it could actually develop into a little bit more of a tropical system and have less wind up here and more wind down here. And I'll show you that. Some of the other models are kind of suggesting that. But let's go through the timing with the European model. Look at this. Winds really picking up Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. Lows down here near Miami, but most of the winds away from the center. It's up here in northeast Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, those areas. And then here you go. This right now, if this were to happen, this is a Jacksonville storm. This is a storm surge for them. They could 4 to 5, 6 foot storm surge there over on the East Coast. Nothing for us here in Tampa. Okay, so don't worry about that. Now, let's go over the GFS model. Watch what the GFS does. Here it is developing. You see it right now. Look, the GFS is trying to make more of a tropical system. 80-degree water is somewhere like right in here in south. So it's over water that's warm enough to be considered tropical, right? For a warm core. It's not starting that way, but the water, at least underneath it, will be that way. So the GFS, and I don't necessarily trust it all that much, but it is showing a tighter system, lower pressures, 994 in the Bahamas by Wednesday night. Now, because we have these isobars here, you see all these black lines here, they're close together. That's going to give us a lot of wind. But look at well, let me continue running this out. Look at that. Now, it deepens it. You see that? You see all these lines now around here? You see all those in there? That is strengthening tropical system right there. That would be a tropical storm likely Thursday afternoon moving through the Bahamas, coming towards West Palm. All right, that's Thursday night with some kind of landfall. Now, this is just a model run, but this is different than what the Europeans see, and the Europeans keep it in a broad area of low pressure. This is starting it that way, but then bringing it tropical. Now, it comes across right over Tampa, but we're not talking a lot of wind, guys. This is a very weak system at that point, right? But to give us some wind and rain. And I got to say, this is the first thing that's really, first model in the GFS, the first run that's done this in a while. And then it takes it on out, okay? Let's look at the winds that it's saying. So let's come out here. Here we go. Look, it starts it broad, right? Starts it as a non-tropical. Here's all this wind that's up here by the time we get into Tuesday night. Now, look what's happening. You see that there? Lower right-hand corner, you see that? That is, look what's happening now. The winds, instead of having the strong winds out here away from the center, it's got them right here to the north of the eye wall, whatever that it's going to be. So it starts it out as non-tropical, transitions to tropical by Tuesday or so, and then certainly Wednesday night and Thursday moving through the Bahamas with max winds here somewhere in the 60s. Still a tropical storm. And then coming over towards West Palm area by Thursday afternoon. Okay, comes across Tampa. The max winds are in the 40s. So not even a severe thunderstorm warning criteria for that. But it would certainly be breezy, obviously, if this happens. And we would have to watch for a couple tornadoes. This would be Thursday and Friday. This timing, guys, is going to completely change. So make sure you tune back in. But I wanted to give you the idea that one model, the European, which has been doing better, is saying broad, weak maybe tightening a little bit, but not much. The GFS is jumping all over this and saying, "Oh, we're going to get a tropical storm out of it." This is one run of the Canadian. I'm not a huge fan of the Canadian, but you can see it's got pressures down about 997, brings it towards Cape, and then kind of stalls it and then brings it back up the coast. All right. Here's the wind for this model. See how broad it is, but look where all the wind is. You see it up here from Northeast Florida. So that's something to watch all the way through next week, and then it comes back up. Again, nothing for us. In fact, look at this, guys. If this is Friday night into Saturday, that is a good cold front coming into Florida. Bringing back that dry air, bringing back that cool air. Either way, that I think will happen by the end of next week. And I think this system is actually going to help that. So that's the good thing. All right, so here's the latest run of the GFS ensembles, just kind of saying, hey, would we expect tropical depression or hurricane to form? And it's not even showing me right. Something's not right with that because you can see the model says at least a storm. This is the European, and the European says, yeah, what I'm showing you here are tropical storm probabilities. Okay, and look at this. So it's saying, yeah, there is a chance that we get some tropical storm force winds in this area. And that would be, again, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. There's really not a lot to be concerned about at this point. You think you had a Cat 4 hurricane come through from the Gulf, just devastating, right? This is kind of a nuisance thing if it's even going to happen, but it's going to be next week. Nothing really will happen, no watches or warnings or anything like that through the weekend. The weekend will be fine, so you don't have to worry about that for sure. But just keep an eye on it. And of course, I'll be keeping you updated right here through the upcoming weekend as well, too. I'm not concerned about it here for the Tampa area. I do think the initial stages of this with the east and northeast wind will bring some showers our way, perhaps a couple on Sunday afternoon. The better chance if you're in the Tampa area for anything like this developing or throwing rain our way would be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right. The models will flip-flop. They're going to go back and forth. Don't necessarily trust the GFS. It hasn't been doing well. It hasn't been doing well in a lot of things lately. Something's up with the GFS this year. I mean, even looking at numerical data that we have here for highs and lows, it's not doing very well. So don't know what the deal is with that. So I'm kind of leaning towards the European at this point, but things will change. Okay, that's it, guys. If you've got questions, put them down in the bottom. Don't forget my YouTube page, Bobby Deskins Weather, my Facebook page as well, too. If you're watching on that, I haven't been able to see the comments, but thank you. I'll dive in there and see them. I hope you guys have a great Friday evening. The weather here in Tampa is going to be incredible, absolutely gorgeous. And it looks like we're going to keep, a little bit warmer, a little bit more humid through the weekend, but still a nice weekend ahead. Okay, guys, that's it. Have a great weekend. Take care. Be safe out there.